Hi, welcome back. Today is day number 12 in my 33-day video challenge. This is Dr. Lauren Kaczynski. And yesterday I talked about this dream job offer coming out of being essentially ghosted by the people who had offered me this credible holding position, my parachute that failed to open. So I also mentioned that there were some problems with the structure of the offer and also how it was received, both by administration, who was insisting that my salary be derived solely from my clinical activity, and maybe this regional chair's prescience about how important this was, but unwillingness to press the chairs of the individual surgery departments at the different hospitals to pay for this. It seemed like it was too soon. So he did a lot of work actually to try to find a workable, more flexible clinical arrangement for me. But my problem was I couldn't take on a job of this magnitude, 400 surgeons at in a regional system at different hospitals and their administrative staff, and expect to be able to run interference for their difficulties in the operating room and in the office and on the wards, and be developing a program or some conceptual framework for addressing these things and how to optimize surgeon performance really was what we were after. But I couldn't see how I was going to do that and start a full-on practice myself. And it just didn't make sense to me to be in a program that was about physician well-being in some measure and to not be able to provide space for myself to develop the role that I was supposed to have. So it happened during this that I got offered regular jobs in New York as a surgeon, which I'd been looking for quite a long time. Like I would have given my eye teeth for at least one of the offers that I got a year earlier. But in the context of deciding to try to take on these problems of practice and to really be working in that, suddenly those things didn't matter. These other jobs, what had been driving me for quite a while to get back to New York, where I loved living. And I think what's important and what I'm emphasizing about this today in this video is that my priorities had shifted, and that it's easy when you're in the mix of trying to do something that hasn't been done and things are uncertain to feel like it's just a mess and that nothing is working right. But in fact, some things that I wanted quite a lot were working well. It's just that they no longer served the direction that I was taking. And it can all end up looking like a big failure in some fashion as you're hashing it out. And it's only looking back on it, I almost had forgotten that I'd had those offers, that people wanted to work with me. This regional chair wanted to work with me, and people, surgeons in other departments wanted to work with me. They just didn't know what to do about this problem of how to improve physician experience and performance. And really, I wanted an inside-out solution. I wanted things to feel better on the inside. So that was one issue. The second issue was that this regional chair didn't really think that there were environmental solutions. He thought that all of these things could be, well, maybe not all, but he thought that it was going to be much more effective to work on these things from the standpoint of people's personal experience, outlook. Yeah. Maybe this is also a part of me as a surgeon. This might seem like an obscure point in a way, but it's not really. It's connecting. And in some ways, I think of all of medicine this way. It's connecting abstract concepts, scientific concepts, philosophical or ephemeral, spiritual kinds of concepts, and distilling them down into the practical reality of what happens every day in a lived life, ours and our patients and the people that we work with. So it wasn't a small thing to say it was hopeless to try to fix the hospital environment or the practice environment itself, the physical space and the people that we work with. It was a tremendous boost to have sort of proof of concept in a way, that somebody in a leadership role could see that the kinds of things that I was trying to address really did need to be addressed. The question still remained how. The other thing that kind of happened as I look back on it is that by unhitching things from the hospital, it also gave me some other avenues for imagining how I might take this work on. And it took several different forms after this, but it loosened up my thinking a little bit. Because maybe all roads lead to Rome in a way, like that any one of these would be okay if I just worked on them. But for example, well, I'll explain this in the next video. Let's keep this short and sweet. So in any event, it was important, even when being offered something that spoke quite directly to what I was hoping to do in the city and place that I was hoping to do it, that there were some challenges built into it that I saw as being insurmountable, namely the other demands on my time and the recognition by the person who wanted to create this role that he wasn't really willing to do the legwork with his team to make it a reality. And that meant to me that I was going to be struggling against that the whole time, on top of sort of cobbling together a not very recognizable kind of practice component. Yeah. I needed something a little bit more secure to go on in order to take the big chance in a system like that of this. But heck, it was really nice to be taken seriously as a potential vice chair of surgery in a regional system. Yeah. Okay, so I was on the trail. I'll see you in the next video.